Codes of ethics. For one thing, it hasn't been updated since '96, and our national convention is next week. But many of these items are timeless and apply to any medium. Be accountable, admit mistakes, and correct them promptly.
Or incorrect, and let people know that what they're seeing is something new. Because one of the principles I have is don't confuse people. So it's part of just being honest with readers.
You have to do it prominently. You can't bury it at the bottom of stories or in some other place on a page. We have so many weaknesses in our field that reflect either an inability or an unwillingness or hypocrisy in accepting our faults and about which we are shining the light of scrutiny on others. What we recommended was the guiding principle in the belief that codes of ethics imply rules that have to be followed, period, and the regimentation of it and the restrictiveness gets in the way of good ethical decision making.
And I'd just like to hear your thoughts. Is civility something that journalists should be promoting? And if so, how do we define what is civil and what is incivil?
When we looked at what was soon to be former NPR News Code of Ethics and recommended instead guiding principles for ethics and standards and practices, we chewed on that issue a great deal, including the word civility and how it applies to NPR news coverage and commentary. And where we came down was recommending the use of the word respect.
I think it can present some real conflicts for us. I think it's an issue, frankly, we haven't talked about that much. And it ought to be part of the conversation. It ought to be part of the principles that we look at as we communicate to our staffs what their responsibilities are.
It's possible that the words duty and loyalty would be helpful in exploring both that issue and one you raised in terms of whether it's reporters and their branding, or whether it's editorial writers or columnists who are individually then expressing their point of view beyond what they've written for the paper as unsigned editorials or as columnists who are